today, and then it's going to snow all day tomorrow, so trying to let everybody have a good stretch of the legs this morning. And I have Brandy and Rosie out with just 2 of my adult dogs because I'm going to start the name game with these guys. Couldn't find my selfie stick, but I walked them, first of all, I walked them to the big yard on their leashes because I want them to get a positive association between their leash training, and they let me put the leash on, bring them out to the big play yard, and then take the leash off rather than just let them follow me out here. Then they develop another way to make a positive association with the leash. But today I am going to use treats. This is one time when I do use treats, and that's when I'm doing the name game or when I'm doing come. And what I'm using is boneless, skinless chicken breast. Unfortunately, I have Storm and Blue out here with me too because Blue's in heat and I'm trying to let them have a little bit of a run. See, I don't want to, you notice Brandy was there kind of jumping up. She could smell the chicken, but that's not when I'm going to call her. I'm going to wait till they're distracted. Brandy! Brandy, come! Brandy! Come! Brandy! This is really sort of a combination between name and come because, and there's Rosie! Good girl, Rosie! Good Rosie! Brandy, Storm. So basically, if I was doing this in a little tiny room, I would just say the name. But what I'm going to do, since when they're starting to come to me from a distance, is I'm also going to say come because they are coming. And when you're training a puppy, when it starts to do something is the time to use the command. For instance, if your dog walks up to you and just sits, you want to say good sit because it offered you that behavior, and you want to acknowledge, you want to sort of train it what the word means by associating it with an action. Now look how far away they are. Get my chicken ready. I mean, they're way out there. Okay. They're way far away. They're about 500 feet from me. Brandy! Rosie! Brandy! Come on! Woo-hoo! Now see, having the older dog out here helped too, because they saw him running to me and I gave him his chicken. Good, Rosie! Storm, get off. It's gonna take my finger off. Rosie! Okay, hang on. There. This is very hard to do with Storm out here. There. There's Brandy. Good, Brandy! Rosie, want you good sit. See how they're offering sits to me because of all the table work that we did? Yes, you were good too. I had to turn the camera off for a minute so I could give them each a piece of chicken for coming. But this is one time when I'm going to use food, because for them to be 200 or 300 feet away from me, sniffing the ground and maybe smelling where there was a deer or a rabbit, for me to call them and have them go to the trouble of running all the way to me, there has to be something in it at this age. Now, by the time my dogs are adult, I don't need treats. I don't use treats, let's say. But when they're off leash, puppies, see, there's some nice horse poop. There's a lot of distractions out here that are better than just running all the way to me and getting petted and praised. So that fresh chicken that's in my pocket is a nice, healthy... You okay? What happened? I'll have to look at the video. Did somebody hurt you? Come tell me about it. Come tell me. Good girl, Rosie. Come here. Blue, did you be mean to Rosie? Hang on a minute. Now they're way down by the pond. It was cute when Rosie, I don't know if Blue snapped her or what. She might have ran into Blue. But she came running to me, and so that was sweet. They're starting to see me as, you know, a leader. And so when something goes wrong, they come to me. Rosie, are you a good girl? Rosie, come. Rosie, come. So see, she was coming to me anyway. So I'm going to give her a little bit of chicken. And also for Brandy. Brandy, good girl. Brandy. Good. This is a real good trick without getting my finger snapped off by Blue and Storm. I think I'll get rid of Blue and Storm, and then I'll take them out of this field and we'll do it some more. Sorry, but you guys are gonna have to go elsewhere. Okay, I put Storm and Blue on the other side of the fence. You don't need a huge pasture to do this. You can do it in a little yard or in your house, wherever the dog can be off leash and distracted. So I'm just letting them. Now Rosie's kind of sticking closer to me. Brandy's off running. I'm just gonna let them sort of forget about me a little bit. Yeah, that's what I want. And they also get a chance to just be puppies. You know, you have to remember you're dealing with a little puppy. Like the leash work that I'm doing is, I never do it for more than 3 or 4 minutes. It's pretty intense. When they first feel that pressure on their body and you're actually, you know, making them go in a certain direction, it's a little unnerving for them at first. They feel a little bit trapped. Their animal instincts kick in. So good, Brandy. Okay, there's an offered come. Good come. And there is good sit. I'm trying to get the treat out of my pocket. You know, it's hard to do this with the phone. There you go. Good girl. Good. So basically that was an offered behavior. I didn't call them. I wish I had my... I keep losing my selfie stick. I'm going to have to order a half a dozen of them. It's around here somewhere. But so now look at this. Ooh, look at the attention. So, you know, there is a time and place for treats. And when I say, you know, training without treats, what I'm really trying to say is, you know, you don't have to be a treat dispenser for every silly little thing that your dog does. You know, they don't have to be paid, quote unquote. They need to understand that the only way really to teach a command, sit, see if she'll do it. Only give it once. Good, sit. Rosie, sit. She was my hardest one to sit. Good. Brandy, sit. Good. Okay. So, you know, today I'm using a little bit of chicken because I'm trying to get them to come to me and check in with me when I'm out walking. I taught all of my dogs this when they were very young. And so that's why they stick to me like glue, because I've conditioned them to do that. But what I started to say is, you know, you see people, every single thing, treat, 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 treat. And what that teaches the dog is that, first of all, I honestly don't believe they're learning the command. They're not learning it as such. Good! Now see that? Look at her check in. Good, sit. So she's coming to me and she's sitting. I'm making them pull that tiny piece of chicken out of my fingers just to, ooh, it is so delectable. It's like when you eat a little piece of chocolate, you want to make it last. It's a tiny piece of chicken. But anyway, if you're just using treats and you're not using any correcting, the dog thinks that the command is a request. And I like to teach my puppies from the very start that a command means you got to do this and you've got to do it right now. And so that's why I use the pressure and release. The pressure and release teaches them that if you don't do it, there's going to be a little bit of discomfort associated with your decision not to do it. And they also learn the quicker they do it, the quicker that bit of pressure. And I mean, it's not painful. You're not choking them or anything. It's just like if somebody was to grab onto your wrist and hold it tight or something like that. It's not a big deal. But they would prefer not to have that. So they learn to give you what you want, and they learn to give it to you quickly. And then, you know, I use praise. Don't tell me I'm out of chicken. I gotta stop for a second. So when they do it, like if you notice the leash training videos that I did with them, the one I did in the yard yesterday, you know, I take a couple steps, I have them sit, I scratch them on the chin. Dogs love to be scratched on the chest and under the chin. They love that. So that's what I do, and I tell them, good girl. Now when they come for their little bite of chicken, I also give it to them. I tell them good, because what you're doing is you're turning the word good. It's kind of like Pavlovian type theory. Eventually, just saying good is going to be just as good to them as getting that little bite of chicken or getting that release of pressure. So that's why if you use treats very minimally, you can fade them out really quickly, and because you've used your marker, your good girl or good boy or yes or whatever word you're going to use simultaneously with the treat or the release of pressure, then you don't need the pressure anymore. You don't need the treat anymore. It's the same thing. We're going to get rid of the pressure and we're going to get rid of the treat. So anyway, this video may have been a train wreck, but I'm going to probably go ahead and put it up if it's halfway good at all. Trying to give everybody with puppies right now just a little daily tutorial if I can. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.